Hi folks, so this time I'm just going to go and explain the script. Scripts can be a bit complex, especially when you're new to it, and this script is one of the more complex ones in this sort of beginner tutorial, but it's worth explaining anyway. So if I go to Edit Preferences, the first thing I want to do is make sure that in External Tools, the external script editor is set to be Visual Studio. That's going to give you the best experience. And if I double click on it, we should bring up the script here. So the first thing you should know about scripts is there's different standard functions to them, different parts of the script that are always included. Anything in the start, quite simply, happens at the start. And then anything in the update part is going to happen once per frame. So if you've got a 60 frames per second game, then this is happening 60 frames every 60 times every second, basically. So these here, RB get component rigid body, anim, the animator, SR sprite renderer, that's effectively getting the things that were attached to the player. So if I click on that, so we've got sprite renderer, animator, rigid body, and bots collider. Okay, so we haven't got the bots collider in the code, but it's referring to those. So it's allowing us to manipulate those. Speed, jump force, low jump multiplier, fall multiplier, they're set to be public. So you may have spotted that they're there, and we can just add some numbers there to change the game. So if you wanted to make it get faster, you can increase the speed. Want it to go slower, decrease the speed. Want the guy to jump higher, more jump force. Want the guy to jump not as high, less jump force. So you can play around those. They're called variables. Okay, so what's happening here is in the update, if the rigid body has a velocity on the y-axis that's less than 0, so that means it's coming down the y-axis, means it's falling, then it's going to do this, which effectively makes it sort of fall in a realistic manner rather than just like a stone. Otherwise, if it's going up and there is the jump button is pressed, then it's going to sort of move up. So this is like a jump routine, jump and falling routine. Okay. Once per frame, we're going to run this move. So what happens here is we get the horizontal axis from the controller, which is just like the left and right arrow keys, and it moves the rigid body left and right multiplied by the speed that we've got. So the higher that speed variable, the more it's going to move left and right. We also at once every frame we call jump, and this is just detecting has anybody pressed the space key and is the character on the ground. So only when the character is on the ground and somebody presses space, the character moves up, and he moves up by whatever the jump force was set to be. Also, we're going to be animating the player. So if the move by is greater than 0, that means there is a bit of movement happening. Then we're going to set the animation to be running. If it's less than 0, then it's moving left. We also want to be running. Otherwise, we're still, and we just want to be not running, basically. And this bit just makes the character move left and right. Right, the last bit is probably the most important bit because it's the bit that we'll need to create again on some of the other parts of the game. This script is an on-collision enter 2D. So it's basically saying when the box colliders collide with another set of box colliders, or when they bump into something, it's going to check, is the thing that's been bumped into the ground? If it is, do this. Okay, we're going to do something similar with collectibles like coins to collect and power-ups and stuff in a future video. So this is an important one to think about. The rest of this, it's nice to know, but you've got the script and you can just attach it on, so it's not a big deal to if you didn't fully understand all that.